It's so late to apologize. It's so late. So it's too late to apologize. It's so late. Said it's too late to apologize. this thing called love. It cries in a crowd at night. It swings, it jives.
Ladies and gentlemen, for my colleague, it's very small level of the sound, please. Please, the students. Ladies and gentlemen, dear guest, Madam Minister, Mr. Secretary of State, Mr. Undersecretary, ladies and gentlemen, ambassadors, dear colleagues, Your Excellency, on behalf of the National University of Science and Technology Polytechnica Bucharest, welcome to the first EELISA International Conference. We are honored to have so many distinguished guests here today. Your presence, even if online, because we have many colleagues online, it's a testament to the importance of EELISA and the mission to transform engineering education and research. EELISA is an alliance of universities that are united by the commitment to innovation, sustainability, and social impact. We believe that engineering has the power to create a better future. And we are committed to educating and empowering the next generation of engineers to solve the world's challenges. What we offer through EELISA, it's an international campus and aggregate research center where young professionals can learn and develop solutions together. In sense times, this is an exceptionally relevant mission. And most importantly, it's a truly life-changing opportunity to both students and faculty alike. In the same time, this conference is a perfect opportunity to celebrate our achievement in the past 3 years and to look ahead to the future. As you know, we will be discussing a wide range of topics, including how to educate engineers for the 20th century, how to accelerate the development and deployment of sustainable technologies, how to ensure that engineering education and research is inclusive and accessible to all. These are some of the most interesting and challenging questions of our time. And most importantly, if answer that are the questions that can deliver the sustainable future we are inspired to. So the scope and purpose of this alliance and conference are very far-reaching. But it's something unique about this conference today. First of all, please sit down. First of all, it celebrates 3 years since the beginning of our common ambition. 3 years since we embarked together on a mission, what we believe we called accomplish. and science, we are preparing to transition to the second phase on this ambitious project. We are more certain than ever that we are in the right path. That at the same time, that I believe we are beginning today, it's a new culture. And I speak also yesterday about this. A tradition of conference, that this is only the first of many. That what is the sense of this conference? You meet us, discovering how education and engineering can have a large impact of the world, and then applying that to everyday life. It is an extraordinary vision. We touch upon many points discussed today in society. But by creating our common engineering diploma, our target, an international campus, also our target, we are much closer to make this vision a reality than anybody else. And although, that are still many variables to cover, I believe that our formula will deliver an innovation and a wide higher education institution function. For that, I can only thank all of our partners who have the courage to embark on this wonderful journey, and all the students and faculty who are enacting this vision as we among along. So enjoy the conference because it's unique. And I repeat, as you embark on this journey, feel free to explore the largest academic campus in Romania. This green campus is home to around 30,000 students in the field of engineering, the largest engineering and the students community in the country. After merging with another important university in this year, Polytechnica Bucharest are now the largest university in the country with over 40,000 students and more 4,000 employees. We are now a comprehensive university covering all the disciplines that engineering, medicine, such as science, social science, theology, laws, economic study, history, and arts. We are also the largest research center in the region, supporting hundreds of top companies, either through research projects and through highly qualified experts. Our research infrastructure is dedicated both to advancing science, but also to help partner companies implement new and tailored technology to their business process. What makes us different here, aside from the quality education, is the fact we invest continuously in the development of interdisciplinary education and entrepreneurship. In fact, because we are many entrepreneurship programs, we have that at this university by actually behave like a large startup accelerator for students who wish to develop and implement these ideas, and many projects realized by the company with our faculty. We continue to invest and support the students and the faculty in this direction, interdisciplinarity and entrepreneurship. Based on this, and looking forward in the future, we stand on the threshold of even greater possibility and achievement. I return to ELISA. As we envision the second phase of ELISA, we see a future where our alliance become an example of transcending barriers, both institutional and national. As we will see, the first ELISA International Conference will guide us through discussion, exploring new ways to educate engineering who are not just adapted to traditional skills, but with skills that can broaden not engineering profiles, to say to are equipped to tackle the emerging challenges of our world. And for us, it's very important this, and for society, it's very important this. The second phase of ELISA is not just a continuation. It's an evolution, a commitment to staying ahead of the curve. Accelerating to development and deployment of sustainable technology will be at forefront of our endeavor. The pressing need of sustainable solution is more evident now than ever, and ELISA, with its diverse pool of talent and collaborative spirit, is poised to lead to change in driving transformative change in these fields. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, let me express my deep gratitude to all of you who are present here in this conference in our university in Bucharest, in these days together. The success of ELISA lay not only the dimension for our ideas, but in the tenacity, and my colleague know very well this, the tenacity which we pursue them, enjoy the conference, learn from the inside, and let us continue to build the future where engineering education transforms life and propels society towards a brighter, sustainable future. Thank you again for your presence. Thank you for your contribution to this conference. Thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, for this opening session, we have an honor and pleasure to have a special guest. A lady have a long story in the education, starting its students in the different position in Romania, and after this it's a leader of students in Romania. After this it's the leader of ESU, European Student Union, and after this, they have work in different institutions, advisor of the Romanian president, and 2 weeks ago, it's correct, have award, an European award, international award for education. And we are very honored because our Ministry of Education is with us, a very good friend of our university, Ligia Deca, the Romanian Minister of Education.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rector. First of all, before the official address and the protocol, I would like to wish a happy International Teachers' Day to all our colleagues, to all our dear teachers from Romania, from Europe, and from everywhere, because they shape hearts, minds, and characters. And I think they deserve a big thank you from our side. It is a great pleasure and honor for me to be here with you today. I welcome from the side of the Ministry of Education our colleagues from the universities which are members of the ELISA European Alliance. I welcome our colleagues from the Erasmus Plus Agency, from other European universities, Mr. Rector, from the National UNESCO Commission, and all of you here today who I believe are passionate by international and European education. Also allow me to welcome you for inviting me to celebrate also the achievements of the first 3 years of existence of the European Engineering, Learning, Innovation and Science Alliance, ELISA, as we like to call it. I would also like to note with great pleasure the interest of the Romanian academic community for the European Universities Initiative, their constant efforts also to make it a reality. Up to date, 17 Romanian universities participate in alliances covering a very broad area of domains, from the technical field, as it is the case of our host today, the National University of Science and Technology, Polytechnica Bucharest, to medical, arts, and social sciences, as well as humanities, to sustainable development fields. I am also pleased to remark the abbreviation ELISA, which is a symbol inspired by Elisa Leonida Zamfirescu, one of the first women to obtain a degree in engineering. I would also want to point out that in Romania, the share of graduates in information and communications technology, or ICT, as well as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, is among the highest in the European Union. Also, the share of female STEM graduates over total female graduates is above the EU average. We all agree on the important paradigm shift brought by this initiative, changing from the national perspective to a more transnational with a clear flavor of European values. It means collaboration in a sustainable, systemic, and structural way with multiple benefits for the academic community, but also for the society at large. It is also worth mentioning the potential of European universities to create talents, but also to attract talents at the global level. Romania has supported this initiative from the very beginning, as well as the principles on which it is based. The inclusive character and its excellence, promoting quality education and strongly contributing to Europe's competitiveness. I think European universities are instrumental in addressing global challenges. And in this sense, it is worth noting the extraordinary role of universities to prepare teachers for general education and to make sure that our global target or targets when it comes to education become a reality. Because otherwise, I think our future is not as bright as we would want it to be. At the European level, the alliances have nowadays the opportunity to test some of our common objectives for decades. For example, the joint European degree label, the legal status of European universities, but also new goals such as micro-credentials. The result of the pilot projects developed by European universities will highly contribute to the further development of these initiatives and will also contribute to making sure that the European higher education area and the European education area become a reality. I know that deep transnational cooperation also brings about a series of challenges for institutions involved, which we tried at the national level to address within the new legislative framework for education. The new law on higher education entered into force in September this year, and it includes a chapter on internationalization of higher education and specific and substantial help to universities, also financial help, as part of a wider national program for internationalization under the label Study in Romania. We understood from the very beginning the importance of providing sustainable financing to these new structure called European alliances or European universities for the success of the initiative in the long run. Therefore, we decided from the beginning to co-finance these initiatives, and we wanted to make sure that this financing will in the future also look at the impact of internationalization through European alliances on academic communities at large. They should not be restricted to an elite of professors, of researchers, of students that have access to the benefits of European alliances. The project should benefit entire academic communities and also preferably spill over to other universities at national level who are not yet part of European alliances. In this sense, I also take the opportunity to welcome the initiative of the European Commission to create an investment pathway for the European Universities Initiative after 2027. Our new legislation framework also comes up with an appropriate framework for the development of joint programs. It also foresees a high degree of flexibility for higher education institutions. Universities can establish their own regulations for the organization and operation of such joint programs. The study documents released at the completion of joint programs, respectively the joint diploma or the double or multiple diplomas, are recognized by our country and are also included in the single national integrated register for diplomas and study documents. The new legislation also introduces micro-credentials and foresees the drafting of the framework for their development and implementation, as well as their provision by higher education institutions through international cooperation. With reference to the profile of the EELISA Alliance, the new higher education law introduces a specific program to support the learning of sciences, engineering, and mathematics, to complement a similar national initiative at the general education level. Through this program, the Ministry of Education will support higher education institutions to establish and further develop their own laboratories and research centers in STEM. It will also facilitate the improvement of the multidisciplinary study programs, learning resources, and mobility initiatives. In our vision, this program will also contribute to attracting and training teaching staff and to a better cooperation between universities and employers. Last, but certainly not least, I would like to underline the importance of the constant dialogue between higher education institutions, national authorities, agencies for quality assurance and recognition centers, European Commission, as well as the involvement of the student representatives in the co-creation process of the European Universities Initiative. I think the student movement has a new challenge at the European and national level with these alliances, and I'm sure they will raise to the task. I would also like to point out that next Monday, on the 9th of October, all the Romanian universities members in European alliances are meeting in Timișoara, which is also the European cultural capital, to discuss what legislative changes and what type of financial support the ministry should provide. And I'm very happy to meet them there because I think European alliances and national universities, part of these alliances, are the engine for change when it comes to making sure that our legal frameworks match our ambitions in higher education. Thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to the results and the conversations within the EELISA Alliance, as well as for the perspectives of development. Thank you very much.
We are very happy in Romania because the Ministry of Education it's decided to help the Alliance of University, not only with remarks and comments, also financing part of the Alliance, and very important, the Ministry of Education changed law, and the new law offer a large autonomy of university to develop the programs inside Alliance. Thank you so much again, Minister. The next speaker in the opening ceremony, it's Mr. Tudor Prisacaru, State Secretary of Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digitalization, professor in our university, and also the president of the Senate of our university. Mr. State Secretary, please.
Dear colleagues, esteemed scholars, honored guests, and members of EELISA Alliance, good morning to all of you, and thank you for gathering here today. As I stand before the distinguished audience, I'm reminded of the strength and vitality the collaboration brings to our academic landscape, perfectly embodied by EELISA Consortium. Universities, as we recognize, are more than space learning. They are bridges to spend time, connect theory with tangible outcomes, and links individuals to a broader community of thought. Further, universities play a pivotal role in connecting ecosystems, driving a harmonious relationship between education, research, innovation, and societal evolution. Research collaboration is a pivotal driver of innovation, impact, and quality in higher education. A thriving culture of collaborative research can boost academic reputation, widen our network of peers and thinkers, and even bolster opportunities for funding, especially funding. In fact, such collaborations, when approached inclusively and supportively, lay the groundwork for academic progress and breakthroughs. Representing the Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digitalization, I envision our academic institutions, especially alliances like ELISA, soaring beyond traditional paradigms and boundaries, beyond what we've known into the realm of what can be. In the European Commission, we can find universities are distinctive features of our European way of life. The mission of the universities extends beyond just dissemination knowledge. It is about instigating transformative changes. Achieving this change mandate, bold aspiration, and most crucially collaboration, universities have a unique position at the crossroads of education, research, innovation, serving society and economy. They play a critical role in achieving the European education area and European research area in synergy with European higher education area. 2023 is the European Years of Skills. We have to give a fresh impetus to lifelong learning and talent development, empowering people and companies to contribute to innovation and competitiveness. Together, let's visualize ELISA not merely as an academic consortium, but as a transformative moment, a movement relying academic torchbearers across Europe to unite, synergize, and sculpt solutions for our shared future. Today, Europe faces multiple challenges, very furious challenges, be it in climate changes, rapid technological evolutions, lack of skills, or social-political harmonization, even wars and pandemic situations. So, at this moment, we can think to what Shakespeare has said. The time is out of joint, O curse part, that ever ELISA was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary of State. Mr. Pisacaro is for long-term Secretary of State in Ministry of Education and Ministry of Research, and with long European experience and represent Romania in many events. Ladies and gentlemen, as I say, we embarked in our ambition mission 3 years ago, so we would like to take stock of what word and achievement so far. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and the ELISA Secretariat prepared a special surprise for all of you, a special movie. It's amazing, please. I hope my colleague is here.
It all began like every ambitious project, with a vision and a blank canvas. A group of enthusiastic individuals driven by a pioneering spirit and an open mind. No one expected this journey to be easy, but countless hours of collaborative work led to the first big achievement. That was only the beginning, and not even the most challenging times could refrain the growth of EELISA.
Nuestra estrategia consistirá en promover el creciente papel de las universidades.
Queremos transformar nuestra institución.
Dear Laura, by the time you read this, it will be the year 2030.
As well as teaching fundamentals, you also have to get students to the point where they can do real things.
If we want to think of the future engineer, I think gender has to be at front and center.
To put these commitments into practice, EELISA is going to set up and implement several actions and instruments.
Welcome you to this information session.
I would like to welcome and give the floor to our first speaker, Inés Sánchez de Madariaga.
It is from these studies on women at war that we are able to reflect.
I am a member of the EELISA community for energy transition and international exchange.
Our professors come from different disciplines.
Our aim is to empower research, education, and innovation.
Crear, creer.
My name is Mariam and I am the student representative of École des Ponts Scuola Normale Superiore
at Scuola Sant'Anna.
FAU in Erlangen.
We are EELISA.
And together we are moving knowledge.
What has been the evolution of the situation regarding parenthood and motherhood in STEM?
For the last 3 years, we have embarked on an intensive journey filled with collaboration and dedication. Yet, we recognize there is still much more to accomplish, and that none of this would have been possible without the most valuable asset of EELISA: its people.
Open, mindless, collaboration, dedication. This is the word from this movie. Thank you so much for this beautiful movie. Remember what's happened in this year. And it's resonate with the European University Initiative. And now our upcoming roundtable discussion will be delve into the cross-border alliance context, significations, and prospect. I would like to invite the panelist, the speaker here with us. Please, ladies and gentlemen. Please. And because we are in short delay, I continue. Thank you for everyone for accepting our invitation and joining us today. This session is dedicated to reflecting on ELISA's pioneer's journey and to, in this context, the European University Initiative have started in 2017. The European University Initiative have come as a natural step towards the development and engagement of collaboration. And this alliance, in our opinion, play a crucial role in advancing the quality, competitiveness, and attractiveness, in European higher education on both regional and global sides. With us, it's today, not physically because it's not possible, but thanks Vanessa Debias-Santon, a head of the Higher Education Unit of DG Educational Culture of European Commission. I hope we don't have any technical problems. And Vanessa is with us. Hello, Vanessa.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. I hope you can hear me.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much. How do you see Alliance today? What is the perspective and the potential of the Alliance for the voice of European Commission? You know very good many universities, you visit many universities, also our university, you know what's happened in all Alliance. It's very interesting for us, your perspective. Please.
Yes, thanks a lot. And I would like to remind how all these initiatives started, as you said, in 2017. And when the head of state and head of governments discussed in Gothenburg this initiative, they had two main objectives. The first one was to develop a strong European identity, a strong sense of European belonging for the new generation. And what a better European symbol than a joint European degree, which does not exist yet, but we are working on it together with all universities and member states. A joint European degree delivered to students benefiting from future-proof joint programs where they have the opportunity, like in ELISA, to study in Romania, in Spain, in France, in Germany, Italy, or Turkey, to work with peers from different countries and disciplines and develop new knowledge together, like towards the Sustainable Development Goals, and together with their innovation surrounding ecosystem. And the second broad objective was to see a substantial leap in quality, leading to even more competitiveness and attractiveness of European higher education systems on a worldwide scene. By putting together their strengths that they have together, the universities across Europe can really perform the best in the world. So how has it evolved right now? So we have now, since July this year, 15 European universities alliances involving more than 430 higher education institutions across 35 countries and all member states. And our objective is by next year to reach 60 European universities alliances involving 500 higher education institutions across Europe. So it's an unprecedented level of cooperation, of much deeper cooperation of what we have seen before. And these for different reasons. First, a much more balanced cooperation when it comes to the geographical scope. And here we have an immediate, I would say, output of this initiative to see new cooperation, not only between Western European countries, but between West and East, North and South altogether. And that's already a fantastic achievement to see a deep level of cooperation, well balanced across Europe, so that students from everywhere can learn how to cooperate together, learn these different cultures, different languages, and work together across different disciplines. And we like very much the vision of ELISA to reinvent the future engineer and to have this interdisciplinary approach. And that is so important for engineers, for their future careers, but for them to be able to contribute to a better world. So that's very, very important. Then the next objective is to have a deeper level of cooperation, not only at the level of the staff and the academics and researchers who are doing a fantastic job, but what we saw is that after a European project of 3-4 years, then the outcomes of these projects were, were trickled down after several years. So the big novelty with this initiative is that it's not a short-term project, but as we used to say, it's a long-term initiative. With the cooperation happening at institutional level, we see it as a marriage. You have chosen to marry together with a long-term vision across all your missions, education, but also research and innovation. And that will allow you to really cooperate across all the levels of your institution. So this is really what we are aiming at. And what we see is much more cooperation, not only between the students and the academics and the researchers, but also what we see is across all the different organizations, between the libraries, between the communication services, so that together you work in the same direction. And what we like to hear from ELISA and from other alliances that before you were cooperating a lot, but in a fragmented way. And now you all work together, the different teams, and you have many different teams across your institutions, but towards a common vision that you share at the level of alliance and fully align with the strategy of each of your university. So your potential is huge. Now, all alliances have experimented different ways of cooperating at different levels across your organizations, across your institutions. And now you are at a stage where you need to build on that, build on the new governance that you have built to mainstream all these new ways of learning, of teaching, of doing research to reinvent the future engineering. So it's really now a crucial time to embark on this journey with more staff, with more students, with more people from your organization. So it's really, really a critical moment. And we know that there are many challenges associated to that. It's not an easy ride. It's not an easy journey. And you are bumping into many challenges that can happen at the level of your institutions, but also at national level. And it was so great to hear you, Minister in charge of the Romanian higher education, because indeed institutions are bumping into also lack of coherence between the higher education systems between different countries at different levels. It can be on quality assurance, it can be on tuition fees, it can be on different academic calendars, it can be on many issues. And that is why we are so happy to have the member states on board and to have ministers on board to really look at all these different challenges and see how we can overcome them together. And the recent change in Romania, but also in Spain and different countries are really a fantastic example on how we can do better when we are bold and united together, as our President Ursula von der Leyen said during her State of the Union speech. When we are bold and united, we can get things done. And that is exactly what ELISA and other European universities alliances are doing and are showing us. So as you said before, Minister, we are listening a lot and cooperating a lot with all the alliances, and we are working together on a joint European degree. We are working together on the new legal status, not to impose it to anyone, but as an additional opportunity for any kind of alliance of higher education institutions, be it European universities alliances, but also other type of alliance, of other types of higher education institutions, to be able to cooperate together and to deliver fantastic opportunities for their students, for our society, for employers, for cities and for regions to get the skills and get the talents that they need to perform in Europe for a strong Europe, in cooperation with our global partners worldwide. And what we see recently, which is fantastic, we see a lot of interest from these global players worldwide that are very interested in what you are developing in ELISA and in all the other European universities alliances. So just to tell you that we are with you to really address all the challenges that you are facing, and we are discussing together with the member states. They are on board and they are willing to address these challenges together. And that is why we see the European universities as really trailblazers and catalysts for change for the good within Europe.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much for your comment and your I said recommendation for collaboration. Collaboration with other alliance and all the remarks. Thank you so much. We stay with you in the contact for your closing remarks. Now I invite another lady with us. It's the Secretary General of the National Commission for Romania for UNESCO, Mrs. Madeleine Șerban, also with a huge European experience in education, chief of the European institution in education some years, and chief of many years in Ministry of Education in Romania. Madeleine, please. The perspective, I help you. I give you my microphone, please.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much indeed for your kind words of introduction. I would start by saying your excellencies, because in my understanding, excellency is equal to what you do. And I have to say that, as you know, I'm full of emotions as an alumnus of this school, of the University of Polytechnica, today named the University of Science and Technology, which really deserved the name. And if I'm looking to the university and to ELISA, to your question, what is the connection to UNESCO? I would say from the very beginning, the name. ELISA, as has been said, it's about Elisa Leonida Zamfirescu, and as our dear Minister of Education, that is also the President of the National Commission of Romania for UNESCO, kindly decided to split the words, and I will speak UNESCO and she address you as Minister of Education. I have to say that Elisa Leonida Zamfirescu is in 2023 in the UNESCO calendar of anniversaries. So it's our global common good with her reputation, with her work. And when I'm referring to UNESCO and ELISA Alliance of Universities, when you mentioned in everything you do and in the movie Equally, gender equality, I have to say immediately that UNESCO is sharing this priority, looking to women, which looking to the movie and looking to the room, I wonder which is the perspective of gender equality sometimes. No, I mean, maybe we can give more access to men rather than the women, because we see that there are quite a number in participating in it. Then I'm looking to your alliance as an expression of cooperation, which UNESCO is very much encouraging, but an expression of cooperation when universities have an additional role to already what mentioned and has been mentioned by the distinguished Secretary of State for the Ministry of Research and Digitalization and Innovation, goes beyond, beyond the innovation and beyond the skills, beyond the technology, goes to what Shakespeare was mentioned, goes to society as a whole, goes to culture. And I'm very much welcoming, for example, in the university that is hosting the meeting today, there is an UNESCO chair that is referring to engineering and society. And we are very much appreciating the fact that universities, you are looking not exclusively towards higher education, but to the society as a whole. And UNESCO is equally looking to communities as a whole, and is where you have an important role to play. And nobody is going to listen to what I'm saying right now and is not hearing what I'm saying. I thank you very much, Rector, for having here a campus looking to where the education comes from, and for your kindergarten and the schools applying these days to become UNESCO schools, because the Minister of Education in Romania dedicated a special call for schools of UNESCO in this year when UNESCO is celebrating 70 years since the first designations of UNESCO schools. So here is the cooperation that I would like to suggest to enlarge the perspective of cooperation among universities, research related, but equally looking to the other players in the societies like schools. And here I'm coming immediately with a happy anniversary address in this International Day of Teachers to everyone that is involved, but also looking to science and technology as one of the priorities. We know that in the National Strategic Framework for Artificial Intelligence that the Ministry of Research is having right now in the public consultation, the reference to what the universities are doing, like your International Center of Excellence for Artificial Intelligence, to name it just the one that we are here, but also to the other universities that are members in this alliance. I think that this is very important. So my last word is about, please consider the UNESCO chairs in your universities. Please consider the cooperation with the UNESCO schools, and give to the community the chance that through your interventions to have a better life. And we have not to forget, and I will end with that UNESCO motto is about peace. Let's make sure that everything we do in our minds and in the other minds that are not here today in the room and with us, we are building peace, because this is what is going to give us the chance to have lasting lives and with good results. Thank you very much once again, distinguished guests.
Thank you, Madeleine. Thank you, Madeleine. It's working also my microphone. Thank you so much, especially for the last remarks. Since the beginning, the EELISA has had a special guest from United States of America, Wendy Parcell, research scholar from Harvard University. Wendy is not with us today, but share the video, her transatlantic vision upon the relevance of European University Initiative. Please the video.
Hello, I'm Wendy Purcell. So thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this inaugural ELISA International Conference. As the external counsellor to ELISA, I know that what we do here matters. The European Universities Initiative, through this ELISA Alliance, is transforming lives and transforming Europe and beyond. Focused on re-engineering engineering for sustainable development, there is so much ELISA can celebrate here. There's also a lot more for us to do together. The global higher education sector is changing, being disrupted by a range of mega trends, from technology to a concern around value creation. In this context, ELISA is pioneering bringing together excellence in engineering across Europe and synthesizing new capabilities, increasing capacity for innovation and learning. This is focused on the betterment of the peoples of Europe and the world at large. Today, we celebrate ELISA and plan for its shared future. I want to highlight a couple of its many achievements here. ELISA has elevated the student voice, bringing students into the heart of its governance machinery to help shape the development of the Alliance. Supporting student mobility, shared learning, and community building, ELISA is enabling students to bring their unique experiences, insights, and investment in the future to be part of ELISA's agenda for change. ELISA is also navigating the complexity of institutional autonomy to create the shared governance of an alliance. This demands of ELISA leaders with the humility to collaborate effectively and learn together, as well as the courage to take informed risks and pivot in response to feedback where necessary. I commend all the rectors and their teams and call out the ELISA office as a key enabler of effective collaboration. Beyond creating ELISA, a success to be celebrated in itself, we must also concern ourselves with growing and sustaining the Alliance for the future. So my call to action is for us to exercise the bold, courageous leadership that defines ELISA and take it to the next level of maturity. Harness and amplify the role of students, promote shared governance, and champion mobility at all levels. In the famous words of Mark Twain, I invite you to explore, dream, and discover. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful ELISA conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Wendy is very active in ELISA in these years. Now, moving to the European perspective, I would like to turn to Marcus González Beifus. It's correct, I hope. My pronunciation. I'm the Secretary of the Spanish Ministry of University. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Marcus, because I know it's a very difficult period in Spain. It was also with the Presidency European Council. I have two questions. What is the impact of the alliance in the Spanish ecosystem, and what is the policy prepared for your minister for help the alliance? And maybe say some words about the new law of university from Spain, because you have a lot of discussion with our colleague. In the same time, Romanian government and Spanish government changed the law. Please.
Yes, thank you very much. And before I answer to your questions, I would like to thank you for the invitation. For governments, in this case for me as a representative of the Spanish Ministry of Universities, it's also wonderful to see what alliances do. No? Sometimes the discussions are very theoretical, very abstract, and it's a great opportunity to see in the video they showed in this conference what one alliance like ELISA has been doing. And I would like to congratulate you, because it's amazing when you see what's going on and what has happened in just a couple of years. No? I think that for member states, the European University Initiative is also pioneering. No? It's not only for universities. No? Member states still have the competences in higher education, and therefore they need to adapt in order to make this initiative possible. No? And this is a big challenge that for all of us is there. And therefore, I look forward that tomorrow morning I will meet the Minister of Education and we will discuss and exchange experiences, because both governments have been doing a lot in order to support the initiative. No? I would say that what the alliances have made very clear is that the higher education systems are not national anymore. They are European, they are international. No? And this is something that is very clear as an example in this initiative. No? And the transformative impact, no? The idea that this is not just a project, it's a long-term process that needs to be supported and participated but also by government. I think it has been very clear from the very first moment. In the case of Spain, there was the political attitude to support the initiative from the very first moment, but I also would like to remark that universities have been very active. Spanish universities from the very first moment, and Polytechnica is one of the examples, but we have nowadays 45 universities participating in almost all alliances, 12 universities coordinating alliances. So from the very first moment, there has been an enthusiastic participation of the universities that has put pressure also to the government saying, you should follow us or be with us. No? And in our case, what has been very important in practice, just to share some experiences, is a working group that we have where we meet with the alliances in a very informal setting. Every 3 months, we discuss issues, we talk, we share, and I think this is a win-win relation that it's very, very positive. No? What has the government done in the last years, just as bullet points, and I know we have just a couple of minutes. No? Of course, one very first thing, it's like in the case of Romania, is this co-financing, no? the initiative. No? And here, I look forward to our discussion tomorrow, because I think it's not only a question of money and how much money, it's also a question of for what. And which are the criteria for the funding, and which are the eligible costs, etc. So this is, in the years we have just funded 15 million euros in global for the participating universities, and in the next weeks we hope to pass a new, well, for the last call, for the universities of the last call, new funding for them. No? But apart from money, I think what is very important is the idea to adapt legislations. No? We passed, as Romania, very recently a new law on universities, also with a section focusing on internationalization for the first time in our history. And there, I think, there are two concepts that are important when we come to European university initiatives. No? Is the idea of supporting and the idea of facilitation. No? Because facilitation is something that governments need to do, taking account that universities are autonomous, are independent. No? So the idea is how to facilitate. And in this respect, we have passed, I would say, 2 regulations that in practice have been important. No? One is the Royal Decree 422 of year 2021, where the idea was to make the regulation more flexible in order to help preparing joint degrees for Spanish universities participating in the alliances. Now, here the idea is if 3 universities in Europe within one alliance want to have a joint degree, then we have some special rules that make things more flexible for the quality assurance of the degree. This is one aspect. Also for the students' enrollment, also for academic paperwork, and also for the issue of diplomas. And here the idea is, for quality assurance, the idea of the automatic recognition of the report of a European Quality Assurance Agency that is within EQUAR. If this is made, the Spanish authorities recognize this report immediately. And then the second thing is also to recognize the use of the European approach without any additional criteria as for the quality assurance. No? And the second thing of this regulation is that the consortium or the agreement between the universities participating within the alliances, they can rule aspects like academic fees, aspects like academic grades, or the duration of the studies. No? So the idea of make things more flexible and not making compulsory that they follow the Spanish rules. No? So this is the idea of flexibilization that I think is within this decree 822 from year 2021 that has been, I think, very useful for Spanish universities. And the second reform that I would like to mention is a very recent one. It was passed in last July. It's Decree 576, 2023, related to the issue of the diplomas. No? When a Spanish university within an alliance wants to issue a diploma, bachelor, master, or doctorate, it is possible now that they include in the diploma the name of the alliance, the name of the universities, and also the e-format is also possible. So this was a very technical change, but I think it's quite important practice, and it symbolizes what's going on. No, diplomas are Spanish diplomas, but with these names, of course, in English, e-format, and this is just a good example about how things are changing very fast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marcus. This last remark is very important. It's a very sensitive subject in all European countries, not only in Spain. We have a different perspective of the European University Initiative when we return to ELISA now with Marie-Christine Bird, Director of International Relations of École des Ponts Paris Tech. Bienvenue. Encore une fois, Marie-Christine. What is for Paris Tech? I help you? I give you also mine. What is Paris Tech? What is Paris Tech perspective? What's the impact of ELISA in your school, in your university? And also the national level, please.
Thank you, Mr. Constru, and thank you, dear guests. It's my honor to share with you the experience of ELISA at École des Ponts Paris Tech. And thinking of what happened 3 years or 5 years ago with this crazy idea we had with our historical partner to dream about a unique European engineering degree that will break through the barriers for mobility and allow the recognition of the professional titles and encompasses all the components of engineering, engineering sciences and also social sciences and economics to tackle the great challenges of today. So we had these crazy ideas and we couldn't imagine that today we'll be able to share those incredible outcomes at this international conference. So at that time, for École des Ponts Paris Tech, say École des Ponts for short, the School of the Ecological Transition, we identified the initiative, the European University Initiative, and ELISA as the right framework with the right academic partners and the right opportunity to raise at the European level the role, the mission that we cultivate for engineering to be able to provide the right solutions to climate change and all the global challenges we face. So if I think about the results, I think about what happened just last week or even on Monday. On Monday, we welcomed the very first cohort of participants enrolled in the Executive Master in Digital Twins for Cities and Infrastructure. And this was crazy because we only had a few months to design the program with academic partners and companies. And those participants, the learners, are the real pioneers because they took the risk of embarking in a brand new program which will disrupt the architecture, engineering, and construction field. So this is a very concrete outcome. And given the limited size of École des Ponts Paris Tech, because we are a research-intensive small institution, 2,000 students, 500 researchers, and ELISA is providing so many opportunities for everyone that we had to focus on what makes sense for your institution, how to provide very, very tangible and very concrete support to students, to faculty members, in order to have impact. So two weeks ago as well, we could send almost a third of the cohorts of our main program to Madrid within a community activity, and when you have such a big number, you have impact. Coming back to those communities, this was also a good surprise within ELISA, because at the first time we didn't know how to impose communities. You can't impose that because this is a top-down project and you have the bottom-up dynamic. Communities proved to be the real engine of ELISA. I think that today we have 48 communities gathering students, researchers, and external stakeholders. And when you're here in the community, Ruth is very enthusiastic about the sustainable design thinking module she's designing with Fabien and Balazs. We feel that something is happening. When you listen to Isabel, a PhD candidate, who meet with Beatrice, and well, they're working on the same research topic, and they said, ELISA, who had this great idea? Because we are going to apply to a joint project. So those are the people, the faces who embody ELISA, and this is a major achievement. So for the École des Ponts, under the leadership of our director, Anthony Briand, we are committed to this collective vision, long-standing vision for creating a better world. And I would say that one ELISA activity also was very meaningful for us. It was an activity regarding critical thinking, a module about fighting against misinformation and disinformation. And this is meaningful to us, promoting the scientific, the way to cross information, to understand, and to make sure that your thinking and your appreciation of the world is really meaningful. I also mentioned one important aspect of ELISA. It's the way it provides many opportunities and options to our faculty, but also our staff, the administrative and technical staff, who usually are not involved in European projects, and had the opportunity to share about HR, diversity, entrepreneurship, and so on. So this is very important. And now for the next phase. We have, together with PSL University, the privilege to lead a raw package about joint education, joint recognition, which is key, of course, to offer more and more educational programs within ELISA. So this will be the next challenge, having more joint programs, joint degree, transforming the credentials into the micro-credential approach with a massive impact. And this is what we look for, and we are very excited to start this second phase.
Thank you so much, Marie-Christine. Thank you so much. It's an exciting creation also of PSL and the relation inside the alliance inside of alliance. Very interesting perspective. Thank you so much also for your work. And we transfer the microphone for the next speaker, Timothée Toury. It's the General Secretary General of EUT Plus. Other alliance, other perspective, please.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the invitation. As an alliance, as a perspective, maybe this is clearly the question. I'm not so sure. When I was looking to your movie, actually, I think that for more than 75% of what has been done, we can put EUT Plus, the European University of Technology, instead of ELISA. It would work too. It's amazing how close we are when looking at the kind of solution you are trying, you are experimenting to solve actually this kind of question. So EUT Plus is an alliance of 9 polytechnical university, technical or technological university across Europe. So it's a kind of sistership of ELISA. We are very close to you on the concept. And it's clear that the idea of going toward a European university makes sense for the European society, for the economy, and maybe more when we are talking about engineering. The level of the economy in engineering is clearly at least at the European level. So this is where the challenges are, this is where the economy is, so obviously it should be where the degree and the master, bachelor, and PhD degree should be in engineering, but of course not only in engineering. And this is something we have in common. We have that in common, for example, in the JEDI project, Joint European Degree label for engineering that we are sharing with you, ELISA, and with Enhance Alliance. The question here is how to go toward a European degree label, and personally, I hope soon that we will lose soon the word label and to go clearly toward a European degree. This is something that we have in common. We should give actually our graduated student a degree that is clearly at the European level, and not the so-called recognition of credit when we are going abroad that is actually quite theoretical. It's not so obvious having a Romanian degree and going in France or Spain. It does not work always, not at all. Here the question is to be clearly at the European level. And sometimes I'm joking by saying, okay, in France we do not have a Burgundy degree or a Normandy degree, we have French degree of engineering, and that's it. It's obvious because the economy is integrated at the French level. But clearly the economy is integrated at least at the European level. So that's why we should have a European degree. And this is what we are trying to do under the political umbrella of the European Commission and the national ministry, the ministry of the member states. So this is a part of the road that we are doing together. And there are many ways to experiment that. You are exploring one way, we are exploring a way that is quite similar. And sharing ideas, sharing opportunities really is very welcome. Because when we are looking at the obstacle while transforming, it's, of course, we need to have more flexibility in regulation. We need to have an evolution of the law, obviously. But maybe this is not the first obstacle. I think that the first obstacle is academic culture. The academic culture in the different countries is actually not the same, and it's very difficult sometimes to discuss together and to understand what it means. Because here we are putting clearly our hands deeply in the engine, understanding what is concretely a curricula, what is concretely a degree. And from a country to another one, it does not mean exactly the same. What is a degree, what is a curricula? In Romania, in France, in Spain, it's not exactly the same thing. For example, an engineering degree, does it mean that this graduated student had a long list of skills in engineering, or does it mean that this graduated student can now work as a young engineer? It's two different points of view. Clearly, the curricula will not be the same, and we have to work a lot together to understand each other and to design actually a common curricula. Because it's new curricula, new mobility, new accreditation, and we are moving actually from the ad hoc to the systemic. It means that we are deeply changing the concept. What was the exception, what was the deviation, is now becoming the rules at the level of a European university, and that changed everything. Just a simple example, when we were talking about student mobility, it was usually a question of a dozen of credits of automatic recognition. Now, in EUT Plus, we are talking about something like 15,000 credits in automatic recognition. It's absolutely not the same order of magnitude, so it changed deeply everything. So clearly, this question is doing that together, experimenting that together, and sometimes it's very useful when we have this obstacle of culture to tell our colleagues, you know, in this alliance, they did it, so clearly it's possible. And it helps a lot to take the other alliances as example. So I think that as sistership, we have a lot to share, a lot to collaborate in this huge and amazing journey that are the European universities. And just in a couple of words, sometimes colleagues ask us, how can EUT Plus or the European University solve my problems? And my answer is, I apologize, I will not solve your problems. I will just offer you more amazing problems. And I think that this is what we have to do in an alliance. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. You're very kind with us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Timothée. It's a very interesting perspective. The next speaker is coming from Bucharest. It's a friend of our university, rector, president of the Bucharest Technical University of Civil Engineering, and vice chair of governing board of EU Connections Alliance and other alliance. Very active rector and with it's a very good European perspective. Radu, please, what is the challenge, the opportunity for our alliance in the coming for next years?
Thank you so much, Mignea. First of all, I have to admit that you did a lot. The movie was very impressive, and I have to congratulate the alliance, everybody in the alliance for achieving that much. Regarding the challenges and opportunities, I think that I'll start with the opportunities. Okay, so our alliance is of 9 universities. It's stretching from Ireland to Romania, and most of the universities are middle-sized universities. So we have something like 84,000 students in overall in the alliance. Regarding the opportunity, I think that we took most of the opportunities, and I'm very proud that we did a lot of work in education, a lot of work to the service to the societies, not that much for the research, and I'll come back to the research. For the education, we started 3 years ago a minor program, and we have minor courses in all these 9 universities, and on average, we have something like 2,500 students embarked in these minor programs every year. For the master degree, we started a master program that is supported by Erasmus Mundus. This is the 2nd year, and we are preparing a 2nd master program. The economic model is a little bit difficult because some of the universities are private, some of the universities are state-owned universities, so the economic model is a challenge all the time. And for the bachelor, we didn't, let's say, explore in more details to have a common bachelor program, because for bachelor is more than about basic education, so that's a different story. Regarding the service to the societies, we are very much involved with industry, with stakeholders. We have external advisory boards, and we participated in many municipalities to tackle the local problems. So I'm very much satisfied with the service to the society. With the research, it's a different story. So we have that project, Research for Society, and what we manage is to have at least a common understanding of the resources. So what are the human resources, and what are, let's say, the equipments we can share. We have a very large project that will start in the near future in the framework of WIDERA. We have a project, Enables, that will start and try to put together all these human and equipments. But there is not that much interest and that much fever with having more common projects in different calls. Because the researchers, they have their own networks. The networks are already there. The networks are very solidified. And it is very difficult to merge the networks and to put this together. But I think that this WIDERA and Enables project will do a lot of work here. Coming back to, let's say, the main benefits, I think that for the students, it was the main benefit. And I'm very proud that our universities, with the largest number of students involved in this. We have a lot of students involved. We have a lot of internal boards, students boards, and a lot of mobility of the students. With the faculties, it was difficult in the beginning because, as you mentioned, this university, this European university is solving any of my problems. But I think that some very good examples at the faculties so push the community, and right now I might say that we are approaching 40% of the faculties that are more or less involved in the project, but anyway interested in the project, and that's the most important. Challenges, wow, I think that's a very long list. Starting with the European degree, then with the economic model, after the completion of the support, but for me the most challenging is to keep up the interest. I don't know what will happen in the long run. It's clear in the medium run, 2030, something like this, everything is under control. But what will happen when this European university will become like, I don't know, a day-to-day university? Okay, so how can we keep up this? And the last word is about micro-credentials. We are stepping very carefully on these micro-credentials. We have a lot of discussions how these micro-credentials will influence the interest for the master courses. The master courses are already somehow void of interest, at least for engineering. I mean for engineering, whereas the market is already here. So, and the market is just grabbing our graduates and, okay, go to the market. So these are the main challenges. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Radu. The market is here, huge pressure in front of the technical university in many parts of Europe. The last speaker and remarks, Tudor Prisacaro, what is the impact of research and the perspective of research and the offer for research for Alliance? Please.
In fact, I have already said that the time is out of joint. We are not doing anything else but adapting ourselves in order to face this challenge. And as Marcus has said, Madeleine also has said, we have already created the frame. Probably we need a little bit more in order to fix in the next period. But if we are thinking in the past, 400 years ago, it was a pandemic situation also, and in Basel, Hans Holbein was writing a small letter of recommendation for two of his students, and they went to Erasmus in Rotterdam. Nothing more than this simple situation. Everything was recognized. Those people could travel. Everything was insured. So this is the perspective that we want to reach now again. Common diploma, recognition, everything for the students. This is our principal aim. From the point of view of Ministry of Research here in Romania, we think that in the next year, we have to consider the existence of all these consortia in Romania and to open a special program for common research where everyone to be involved into, and to give the access for these members of consortia to participate even from abroad and from the country. I think it's a normal thing. It's a normal situation in order to sustain this, very good initiative in order to come together in a united Europe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tudor. And a very good announcement in this conference, new announcement for the Alliance and for the University of Alliance from the Romanian Minister of Research. Vanessa, thank you so much for staying with us. I know your program, it's very busy, your schedule is all time with problems. If you are with us, I invite you to share us the perspective, the key words about our discussion. Okay. It's very good. We have signal. We have Vanessa. Sorry. Thank you so much for staying with us. And for closing remarks, please, if you have a 2-3 perspective about the future after our discussion and remarks about our discussion, please.
Yes, of course. Thanks a lot. It was a real pleasure to listen to all the panelists, and I think it gives all of us hope towards a bright future when listening to the national reforms in Spain to make the Spanish law more flexible for joint degrees, but also when it comes to implementing Bologna instruments, such as the European approach to quality assurance, and also the new reforms in Romania. So and that will impact the entire higher education sector, not only the European Universities Alliances. So really congratulations to these two countries, and we trust that you will inspire other member states and other countries to follow your path. We heard Marie-Christine mentioning the importance from her point of view of micro-credentials and the massive impact that it could have. And we tend to agree a lot with Marie-Christine. We adopted a council recommendation last year to provide European standards for micro-credentials to facilitate transnational cooperation on micro-credentials with a European definition, European standards. And now it's important to support academic staff, but also staff working in higher education in general, and Marie-Christine, you mentioned, also HR, communication departments that are working together as well on making these European universities a reality. So it's really important to valorize all this work of staff in higher education institutions, and that is why we are working towards an initiative to make all this work more visible and more recognized and valorized in the careers of staff. So we are planning to present an initiative in that direction, possibly next year. We heard as well the need to make quality assurance and accreditation system more flexible to the needs of higher education institutions. And Marcus mentioned it, so that is why we are working towards, together with national quality agencies and member states, towards a European quality assurance and recognition system to provide support in that direction to all higher education institutions across Europe, on top of working towards a joint European degree. And we heard you, Timothy, the importance of not only working towards a joint European degree label, but also towards a degree. And your pilots, JEDI, but also the other Erasmus Plus pilots and joint European degree label will be very instrumental for us to bring back at the table of the discussions of the member states in the council the outputs of these pilots to work together towards the next step to reach a joint European degree. So thanks a lot to all of you. You are the face of this beautiful objective of the European Universities Alliances. You can be proud of what you have achieved together with your students, your staff, your researchers, and this is thanks to these pooled resources and focused efforts that we can look at a bright perspective in the future to have more coherence between the national higher education system so that together we can really build this pioneering European universities alliances for a brighter future. So thanks a lot to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much for your remark and for your presence. Geographical balance, gender, flexibility, change the academical culture, the students, the keep interest, quality assurance and credential is some important words in our discussion. Thank you all of you for your remarks, for your comment, and for your support and your perspective. I'm optimistic after this discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, the first panel, it's finished now. Thank you so much again for your participation. After this, it's a short coffee break here and the parallel session in the library, Central Library here near to the auditorium, and our colleague in the governing board now immediately. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure for me, ladies and gentlemen. Have a nice day.